Hey guys, welcome to Nasser Jewelers. My name is George Nasser, aka Sifu Haj Nasser. Today I'm going to show you how to solder a box chain onto a necklace. So I'm going to show you, a lot of people think it's easy. It might be easy to like a professional, the person that's been doing it for a long time, but to a beginner or a novice, it's not as easy. So I'm going to show you a very quick trick and very easy way to do it without making a mess. So come on in. All right, first you may make sure your tweezers are nice and clean and pointy. So this box chain is gonna go onto this necklace. If you notice, they're two different colors because this one is dipped in 18 karat and this one is 14, it's never been dipped. So usually you could dip gold any color you like. You could dip it in 18 karat or 21 karat. It's gonna give you more of a yellow tone to it. So if you notice here, I put these jump rings on there. I call them loops. A lot of people call them jump rings. That's fine. But you can see there's a little opening, and that's where I want to solder to. So there's a few ways you could do it. I could solder this directly to it. You could put it right through the box chain. But a lot of times, you don't have that option. So you have to solder directly here. So I've seen a mess, with many things that are done like this. And a lot of people, they use tons of solder. So what I want you to do is like these little squares, they come pre-cut, or you can cut your own. So when you do cut your own, okay, make sure when you cut the sheet, make sure you use as little as possible. You don't want a lot of solder in there, okay? A lot of people see I use the shears. So I make my own lines here, and I cut them as little as possible. You can see, make sure you put your finger there, so when you cut them, they don't go flying. You can see them right there, okay? So this is what we're gonna do, okay? When we light up our torch, you always start with the lighter. You light it up, put on your propane, and then you turn on your oxygen. A lot of people can't do it with one single hand. That's okay. So you could do it with two hands for now until you practice to do it with one hand, which is, I'll put a video out showing you how it's done. You could, something like this, I don't do a lot of boric acid and alcohol. You could just kind of small dip in here, just a little bit, not too much. Don't dip the whole chain. It's not necessary. Just enough to give it a little bit of coverage, okay? If you notice, I did pre-cut little tiny solders here. You don't need a lot of solder on this particular piece because if you add a lot of solder, you're gonna make a mess. There's two different ways. We could solder directly to put the solder on the chain or put the solder on the actual jump ring. Can you see this here? No? So now, you could use flux, but what happens is like when you use flux, it's gonna make a huge mess. So what I do, I just a small dot, okay? So that way it doesn't cover your view, because what happens if you put a lot, it's gonna cover your view, okay? So now, you can see where the solder, I line it up here. You could hold it with tweezers if you want. Okay, I'll do that just to help. And you can see I'm gonna put it right there just so it doesn't move on me. But wait, if you have the experience, it's not necessary. So what I do, I come from the side and I bring the chain to the solder, okay? So I'm gonna go from here. I don't go directly to it because you could melt it very quickly unless you're super good with the torch. But this is for the beginners, not for the professionals. So I'm gonna heat it as I go. I heat more towards this part than I would on the chain. And you can see I bring it in and out. I don't keep the heat consistent on it. So it's very in and out until I see the solder start moving. And you can see how the joint, it's nice and clean. And the chain remains nice and flexible. I'll show you. Okay. See right there? It's nice and flexible. It's a very nice clean joint. So once you put this in the acid, with pickling acid, it's going to make it look very clean. Just light. You hit it with just a little wire brush and you're good to go. So what I'm going to do is on this side, I'm going to put the solder on the actual chain. So you have two options, okay? All right. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to take the piece of solder, just a small solder I cut myself. So let's bring it over here. So I bring the actual chain to the solder instead of the solder to the chain. So I heat the solder and I bring the chain over and let the solder stick to the actual piece. Not too much. You don't want too much. So I'm going to do a little bit of flux so I control the solder. You hold it here I add another piece to here on the actual jump ring too. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring this right to it. And I'm gonna do the same exact method. I'm gonna kind of like bring it in very gentle, and you can see held very quickly. So you keep it nice and clean. And all you do is you put it in the pickling acid, and that will clean that solder there. In a few seconds, you can take it out, and it's gonna look beautiful. And thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. If you want to see more of these videos, please leave a lot of comments. I'll be more than happy to help you. And hopefully you enjoy these. Thank you so much for watching.